Picture this, an ex-cop stealing millions from McDonald's, not with a gun but with tiny pieces of paper, a strip club registered as a church, fortune tellers predicting their wins, and the FBI racing to uncover how one man turned America's favorite fast food promotion into his personal ATM. In the summer of 2000, a mysterious phone call reached the FBI's Jacksonville office. The caller's message was clear: the McDonald's Monopoly game, played by millions, dreamed about by billions, was rigged. Not by chance, not by luck, but by a shadowy figure known as Uncle Jerry. The truth would expose a $24 million fraud scheme so incredible it almost worked forever. This is the story of how one man turned McDonald's most famous game into the perfect crime, and how it all came crashing down. Don't forget to subscribe for more incredible true crime stories. The 1980s were the golden age of fast food in America, supersized dreams for supersized meals. McDonald's was no longer just selling burgers. They were selling the American dream, and in 1987, they found the perfect way to package it: the McDonald's Monopoly game. Inside corporate headquarters, it seemed foolproof. Contract an outside company, Simon Marketing, to handle the logistics. Print millions of game pieces. Attach them to food items. Let customers collect them like modern-day treasure hunters. The promotion was an instant phenomenon, driving sales up by 40% every time it ran. The game pieces themselves were technological marvels. Each high-value ticket was protected by a complex three-part security system: tamper-proof seals, invisible markings, and unique serial numbers. The pieces were printed on high-security paper, similar to what the U.S. Treasury used for dollar bills. McDonald's spared no expense. After all, they were printing what amounted to million-dollar bills. But there was one critical weakness in their perfect system: human nature. Jerome Jacobson's path to becoming America's most successful game rigger wasn't a straight line to crime. Born in 1943 to a working-class family in Youngstown, Ohio, young Jerry was obsessed with law and order. While other kids played cops and robbers, Jerry studied police procedure manuals. His childhood friends would later recall him measuring his shoelaces to ensure they were exactly even, a hint of the obsessive attention to detail that would later make him both the perfect security chief and the perfect criminal. In 1976, Jerry achieved his dream, joining the Florida Police Department. Colleagues remembered him as meticulous, by the book, sometimes frustratingly so. He wrote more detailed reports than any other officer, cataloged evidence with scientific precision, even organized the squad car's glove compartment by category. Then came the injuries. First, a shattered wrist during a routine patrol. While recovering, he developed a mysterious neurological condition that left him partially paralyzed. His doctors were baffled. His department was sympathetic, but firm. He could no longer serve as an active duty officer. Jerry's move to Atlanta in 1981 wasn't just a career change, it was a complete reinvention. Dittler Brothers, a security printing company, hired him as a security officer. Here, his obsessive attention to detail wasn't just accepted, it was celebrated. Within 6 months, he was heading security for their most sensitive projects. When Simon Marketing, the company handling McDonald's promotions, went looking for someone to oversee their game piece security, Jerry's reputation preceded him. They needed someone pathologically careful, someone who understood both security systems and criminal thinking. They needed Jerome Jacobson. The security measures Jerry implemented at Simon Marketing became legendary in the industry. He created a multi-layer system that would make Fort Knox proud. Every game piece was printed on special paper that changed color if tampered with. UV reactive inks were used to prevent counterfeiting. Each winning piece had its own unique serial number. Employees were subjected to metal detector scans before entering or leaving the facility. Security cameras monitored every angle of the production floor. Even bathroom breaks were strictly monitored and timed. Jerry personally supervised the computer that randomly selected winning locations. He watched technicians attach winning pieces to packaging. He even designed a special security vest to transport high-value game pieces across the country. The moment that transformed Jerry from security expert to master criminal came in 1989. The operation ran like clockwork. Jerry supervised the printing of winning game pieces, secured them in tamper-proof envelopes, and personally delivered them to McDonald's packaging facilities across the country. But something had been nagging at him. The computer program selecting winning locations had a curious quirk. When it chose Canadian restaurants, Simon Marketing would simply run it again. Millions of Canadians were buying McDonald's food, playing a game they could never win. If the system was already rigged, why not rig it his way? His first theft was almost an experiment. A $25,000 winning piece slipped to his stepbrother, Marvin Braun. The sophistication of his method revealed the mind of both a security expert and a master thief. He knew the exact moment in the transport process with the least surveillance. He understood how to open and reseal the tamper-proof envelopes without detection. He chose a winner whose connection to him wasn't immediately obvious. He waited months before having the prize claimed. When nothing happened, no investigations, no questions, no suspicions, Jerry realized he had discovered something extraordinary. The perfect crime wasn't stealing money or jewels, it was stealing the chance to win. Jerry's second winner was his local butcher. The deal was simple: $2,000 up front for a guaranteed $10,000 win. But this success nearly became his undoing. Against explicit instructions, the butcher appeared in a McDonald's commercial, beaming about his lucky win. Jerry was furious, but his anger masked a crucial realization. Nobody was connecting the dots. Not McDonald's, not Simon Marketing, not even when the same butcher's friend won another prize months later. The lack of oversight was staggering. Then came the package that would change everything. In 1995, a supplier in Hong Kong accidentally mailed Jerry a box of anti-tamper seals, the very same ones used to secure the game pieces. It was like being handed the keys to every bank vault in America. These seals would allow him to remove winning pieces, replace them with regular ones, and reseal the envelopes without leaving a trace. The operation might have remained small if not for a chance encounter at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Jerry was waiting for a flight when he met Gennaro Colombo, a man who looked like he'd walked straight off the set of Goodfellas. Colombo claimed membership in the infamous Colombo crime family. He dressed in expensive suits, wore gold chains, and couldn't complete a sentence without gesturing with his hands. But beneath the stereotypical exterior was a criminal mastermind who immediately grasped the potential of Jerry's operation. Their first collaboration involved a Dodge Viper prize worth $180,000. Against Jerry's wishes, Colombo appeared in a McDonald's commercial, grinning as he waved the keys to his new car. But he brought something invaluable to the operation: a nationwide network of potential winners and the cash to buy prizes up front. Under Colombo's influence, the operation expanded beyond anything Jerry had imagined. The cast of characters read like a crime novel. Andrew Glom, a former cocaine trafficker who distributed tickets through his drug-dealing network. Gloria Brown, a single mother recruited by Colombo's wife, Robin, who claimed $1 million prize. Dwight Baker, a Mormon real estate developer who used his church connections to find winners. A psychic in Florida who told clients she had foreseen their McDonald's winnings. Multiple strip club owners who laundered their kickbacks through their businesses. Each winner was carefully selected and coached. They were given elaborate backstories about how they found their winning pieces. Some claimed to have discovered them in magazines, others in McDonald's food packages. One winner even insisted the ticket had fallen into the ocean, forcing him to buy another magazine to claim his prize. The operation became so sophisticated that Jerry created a price list: $50,000 up front for $1 million game piece, $25,000 for a Dodge Viper prize, $10,000 for smaller cash prizes. But with every new winner, every new conspirator, the secret became harder to keep. And in the criminal world, secrets are a ticking time bomb. May 7, 1998, a rain-slicked highway in Georgia. A massive Ford truck loses control and collides with a black sedan carrying Gennaro Colombo and his family. The crash would change everything. For 2 weeks, Colombo clung to life in intensive care. His wife Robin paced hospital hallways, torn between her loyalty to the criminal enterprise and her growing desire to escape the mob life. When doctors finally turned off Colombo's life support, Jerry lost more than his best recruiter. He lost the discipline that had kept the operation running smoothly for nearly a decade. The aftermath created a power vacuum that would prove deadly to the scheme. New recruiters weren't as careful. Winners were chosen hastily, often from the same geographic areas. The operation that had once spanned coast to coast began to cluster suspiciously around Atlanta. Jerry himself was changing. The methodical ex-cop who once checked shoes for stolen game pieces now called himself Geraldo Constantino. He drove exotic cars, wore designer suits, and began dating a psychic who claimed she could foresee winning numbers. The perfect criminal was becoming the perfect target. Jacksonville FBI Field Office, August 2000. Special Agent Richard Dent's phone rings. The anonymous tipster's information is specific. 3 recent major prize winners are connected. They shouldn't be. The odds against this are astronomical. The the FBI launched Operation Final Answer, one of the most complex fraud investigations in Bureau history. The numbers were staggering. 25 FBI agents across multiple states, surveillance teams monitoring dozens of suspects, analysis of over 20,000 phone records, undercover agents posing as McDonald's marketing staff, hidden cameras in multiple states. The investigation revealed patterns that should have been obvious years earlier. Winners frequently changed addresses just before claiming prizes. Multiple winners used the same mail drops. Phone records showed winners calling the same numbers in Georgia. Bank records revealed suspicious cash deposits before prize claims. But the FBI needed more than circumstantial evidence. They needed to catch Uncle Jerry in the act. The FBI approached McDonald's with an audacious plan: run one final rigged game. This time, they would be watching every move. It was a huge risk for the corporation. Their most popular promotion was compromised, yet they needed to run it one more time to catch the thieves. The Bureau created 2 perfect bait pieces worth $1 million each. Every step was monitored: hidden cameras in production facilities, GPS trackers in security envelopes, undercover agents posing as production workers, round-the-clock surveillance teams, wiretaps on dozens of phones. They didn't have to wait long. Dwight Baker, the Mormon real estate developer, was recorded arranging a buy. The price, $70,000 in cash for a guaranteed $1 million winner. The exchange was set for Fairplay, Georgia, a name that would later seem darkly ironic. FBI surveillance teams watched as Baker arrived carrying a McDonald's paper bag stuffed with cash. Jerry performed his usual sleight of hand with the game piece. The transaction was caught on video from 3 different angles. The operation's last winner would be Michael Hoover, a failed property developer in Rhode Island. He called McDonald's to claim his prize, spinning an elaborate tale about finding the winning piece in a People magazine. The FBI was ready. They sent a fake McDonald's camera crew to his house, every member actually an undercover agent. As Hoover told his story about finding the ticket, agents noted 7 different inconsistencies. Behind the camera, they were building their final case. August 22, 2001, pre-dawn. FBI teams across the country move simultaneously. In Georgia, agents surround Jerry's house. In South Carolina, they raid a strip club doubling as a church. In Florida, they arrest a psychic mid-reading. Operation Final Answer had reached its endgame. The evidence was overwhelming. 60 fraudulent winners identified, more than $24 million in stolen prizes, a network spanning 12 states, dozens of co-conspirators, hundreds of recorded phone calls, Jerry's own detailed records of every theft. September 10, 2001, the largest fraud trial in fast food history was set to begin. Reporters packed the courthouse, eager to cover a story that had every element of a Hollywood blockbuster. But the next morning's tragic events would push the McDonald's monopoly fraud off the front pages forever. Still, the evidence presented painted a staggering picture of corruption. Bank records showing millions in suspicious transactions, surveillance footage from multiple states, recorded phone calls between conspirators, Jerry's own meticulous notebooks detailing every theft, testimony from dozens of cooperating witnesses, evidence of fraud spanning more than a decade. The human cost was equally dramatic. Simon Marketing collapsed, its stock plummeting from $3.05 to just 19 cents. Hundreds of innocent employees lost their jobs. McDonald's reputation suffered a serious blow. Over 50 people faced criminal charges. Families were torn apart as members turned on each other. Jerry Jacobson's testimony was particularly revealing. The man who once guarded the games with obsessive dedication now methodically detailed how he had corrupted it. He described the sophisticated methods used to steal winning pieces, his network of recruiters and winners, the precise amounts paid for each prize, and how he selected and groomed winners, the elaborate backstories created for each claim. The punishments varied dramatically. Jerry Jacobson, 37 months in federal prison and $12.5 million in restitution. Dwight Baker, the Mormon developer, 366 days in prison. Andrew Glom, the ex-drug trafficker, 1 year and 1 day. Gloria Brown, 6 months house arrest. Dozen of others received probation and hefty fines. McDonald's response was swift and expensive. A new $10 million instant giveaway program launched. Complete overhaul of their promotion security. Termination of their 30-year relationship with Simon Marketing. Implementation of digital tracking for all future future contests. Public relations campaigned to restore customer trust, but some questions remained unanswered. What happened to the millions in unrecovered prize money? Were there other winners who were never caught? How many people knew but never came forward? Did Jerry have a secret stash hidden away? Today, the key players' lives have taken dramatically different turns. Jerome Jacobson lives quietly in Georgia with his wife. He pays $370 monthly toward his massive restitution. Many who know him believe he has millions tucked away somewhere. One final secret from the master of McDonald's $1 million scheme. The McDonald's Monopoly game continues, but with extensive digital security measures. Every winning piece is now tracked electronically from printing to prize claim. The days of paper game pieces being worth millions are over. Robin Colombo, widow of Gennaro, wrote a book about her experiences. Many of the other conspirators have disappeared into obscurity, their dreams of easy millions replaced by criminal records and mounting debts. The McDonald's Monopoly fraud stands as one of the most fascinating crime stories in corporate history. It demonstrates how one person in the right position can exploit even the most sophisticated security systems. More than that, it shows how greed can corrupt even those trusted to prevent corruption. The real Monopoly game was created during the Great Depression to teach players about the dangers of monopolies and unchecked greed. Decades later, Jerome Jacobson would provide that lesson all over again, this time with real money and real consequences. In the end, Uncle Jerry learned what every Monopoly player eventually discovers. Sometimes you land on go to jail. The difference? In his version, there was no get out of jail free card. From 1989 to 2001, millions of Americans played McDonald's Monopoly, dreaming of hitting the jackpot. What they didn't know was that they were playing in a rigged game where one man held all the winning pieces. The odds of winning the $1 million prize were advertised as 1 in 250 million. The real odds? 0. Every major prize winner was carefully chosen, every lucky story carefully crafted, and every game piece meticulously stolen by a man who turned America's favorite board game into the perfect crime. Next time you're peeling a game piece off your McDonald's cup, remember Uncle Jerry. Remember that for over a decade, one man controlled every aspect of the game. And remember that sometimes the biggest threats don't come from outside your walls. They come from the very people you trust to protect them. They say crime doesn't pay. But for 11 years, Jerome Jacobson proved that wrong. Until his luck, like every player's, finally ran out. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, and definitely don't steal $24 million from Ronald McDonald.